Alright, peace, my beautiful friend. Thank you for your patience. Alright, without further ado, let's definitely get into this reading. Alright, so first and foremost, you are a Libra, right? You're a Libra. Your Sun is in Libra, and I'm sure your Mercury is also in Libra. And what else is in Libra? Your Sun is in Libra, and your Mercury is in Libra. You know, that's actually pretty much it. Your Venus is in Virgo, and your Mars is in Virgo as well, and Jupiter is in Aquarius, with Saturn being in Scorpio. Very interesting. Let's get into it. First and foremost, your Sun is in Libra in the Decan of Independence. If you didn't know, every 10 degrees, the energies change, in the sense that every sign, every zodiac is 30 degrees. The first 10 degrees of the energy are different from the middle 10 degrees and the last 10 degrees. You were born in the middle of Libra season, so you were born within the Decan of Independence, you feel what I'm saying? And so, as you may already know, Libra is a sign, right? Yeah, you were born on October 9th, you feel me? And that's the middle of Libra. As you may know, Libra is the sign of relationships, you feel me? It deals with relationships and deals with partnerships. And as I'm saying this, you probably may be like, what? Then how come I don't deal with relationships like that, you feel me? Because looking at your chart, I can tell that there are struggles and hardships when it comes to relationships. Furthermore, you're not just a Libra, but you're within the second Decan of Libra, which is the Decan of Independence. And this Decan, you know, of Independence, a lot of the times, it draws people towards finding independence after being on a toxic or dependent type relationship or whatever it is. You feel what I'm saying? Like, the best way to explain this also is like, Libras, you feel me, a lot of the times are influenced by their initial first relationship, and that's the relationship they witness amongst their parents, their mother and their father. So if you had like the way that the relationship with your mother and father played out is going to has influenced you tremendously. You know what I'm saying? Were they together or were they separated? Did they argue a lot or were they kumbaya? You feel me? All of these different things are going to be of great influence to you. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately what happens here is that the Libra, a lot of the times, even though Libra is a sign that deals with balance and peace, you know, Libra in of themselves aren't balanced or peaceful, but they are called towards balancing. They're called towards bringing peace. Things like justice, things like being a lawyer is very Librian, you know. Being a judge is very Librian, right? And what is a lawyer doing? A lawyer is not per se a balanced person that's imbalanced within themselves, but there are people that help other people find balance, you feel what I'm saying? And so, with that being said, you know, Libra also is a sign that's very self-compromising. Unfortunately, when the Sun goes into Libra, the Sun is in detriment. You see, the Sun deals with self-significance, how you see yourself. It deals with how you value yourself. The Sun also deals with your ego, the I, the me, the individuality. You feel what I'm saying? But Libra is the sign of the relationship, of the other, of the partner. And so when the Sun goes into Libra, it gets conflicted. Because the Sun is all about me, I, but it finds that its expression is primarily its expression are primarily within relationships, or it feels like it's the most itself when it's in a close partnership, in a close friendship, you feel what I'm saying? And so relationships and partnerships are of great importance for the Libra individual, you feel what I'm saying? But within the Decan of Independence, these Libras are asked, you know, to learn how to also become an individual, become their own identity. And this is the Decan of Independence of Libra, you feel me? Because this is the Decan of Libra that's also sub-ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is the planet that deals with the government, it deals with structure, it deals with hierarchy, you feel me, and things like that. But Aquarius is a sign that deals with the future, it deals with humanitarianism, you feel me? And so these are the Libras that aren't so much in the household, playing wife, you feel me? But these are more the Libras that are out in the world, you know. These are the Libras that use their know-abouts about the world to get what they need and want out of the world, you feel what I'm saying? These are the Libras that will find themselves working in the field of like social workers, You feel me? Or working in the fields of servicing and assisting and helping others. You feel me? And especially with your Venus being in that Virgo, you are very much have a great desire to assist and help others. You feel what I'm saying? And so Libra is a sign, you know, although it's an air sign, it is also very material. They enjoy the beautiful, finer things in life. You feel what I'm saying? And like, especially with your Venus being in Virgo, you value so much resources, having resources and having stuff. You feel what I'm saying? And making sure that you have stuff. But the negative attribute that the Virgo and Venus may play out is that you may not see love for love, because love is emotion. Love is blind. Love is a feeling. Love is a delusion even at times. But when the Venus is in Virgo, it does not want to play that, you know. It played it once, it played it twice, and it got heartbroken, and then it was like, this ain't for me, cause nah. And now the Venus in Virgo is like, okay, this is a business we're running here. What do you have to bring to the table? Cause why should I invest time in you? You feel me? What are the resources you can provide? What are the resources you can offer? And so when Venus is in Virgo, relationships become more businessy. They become a little bit more serious. And they may be less emotionally detached and more about practical reasons. Like, okay, I'll get into a relationship with you because you have this house, or because you have this job, or because of X, Y, Z, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, and then the 20th, you know, all these reasons. But it's like, that can be toxic and negative in the sense that sometimes God, you know, the universe, spirit, source, however you call it, may send someone to you who you're supposed to connect with, and this person has nothing to offer you physically, but they can liberate your soul. They can make your heart feel, you know. They can make you feel. They can make you feel like you're not alone, you know. But it's like, because there's this like security thing, you know, the security lock on your heart that people have. It's like people have to bypass. Because with Venus and Virgo, you know, you're also typically these are individuals that are typically solo dolo. You know, their circles are small because they don't deal and they don't involve themselves with just anyone and everyone. You feel what I'm saying? Although Libra is a sign that can play out superficial relationships. And like I said earlier, you know, the sun is debilitated when it goes into Libra. And so what happens with the sun being debilitated in Libra is that the sun being debilitated in Libra, you know, these are individuals that may not stand up for themselves, that may not like confrontation, you know, that may want to keep the peace and the balance and the harmony. And so they do certain things that jeopardize themselves, but they do it for the sake of the community, for the sake of the relationship, you know, and that can be toxic. And this can even be a rooted childhood trait that came from seeing your parents argue or something like that, and then feeling like you're the blame, it's your fault. So then you start to feel guilty and you start to blame yourself for things that are outside of your control. You feel me? And even to this day, you may toxically feel like when certain people are arguing or something like that, it's kind of your fault, you know. But it's not your fault, you know. It really isn't. You're just another human being having an experience just like they are, you know. And in this lifetime, like, there is gonna be problems, right? Like, you cannot avoid it, you know. Like, and sometimes you do have to be confrontational. Sometimes you do have to get angry. Sometimes you do have to flip the table, you know, to get some shit across, you know. And it's like your moon is in Leo. It's like, I don't even have to be telling you all this, you know. You'll kind of already know in a sense, because look, Libra is the drama queen, you know. Libra, emotionally, these are individuals that can feel, Leo, the moon in Leo, when the moon goes into Leo, they need to feel, they want to feel, you know, they want to feel their lives. They want to feel like they're valued and signified by their family, especially because the moon deals with the domestic area, you feel me? But because Leo is the king, the queen, Leo deals with dominion, you know, leadership. Because of this, when the moon goes into Leo, there can be a tendency of wanting to dominate the household, you know, wanting to command your children even, you know, like wanting to control them and command them, and tell them what to do and everything like that. And it's like, yes, like that's good to an extent, but it's like at the same time, our children are not first and foremost our property, right? They are their own individuals. They are their own souls, and they need to have their own certain experiences, is what I'm saying. And yeah, that's a negative attribute of Leo. But for the most part, Leo is a sign that loves when people are themselves. It wants people to express themselves. So you may be that type of person. It can play out as you want to control people and want to dominate the household, or you are the fun mother, the one who everyone feels like they can be themselves around, you know. They don't have to be so then you have that Virgo energy, you know. So with that Mars in Virgo and that Venus in Virgo, there can be very critical energies about you, where you can criticize and want things to be to a certain T and not in another T, you feel me? And this can maybe even possibly be just when you're going up and doing things, like when you're going out to execute things in the world. You want to make sure that you have all the resources you need to execute that plan, and you want to make sure that you have a plan of action, you know. You want to make sure that you are pursuing the path of the path that's the most practical, the path that makes the most sense. With your Venus, my bad, with your Mars being in Virgo, you feel me? So your strengths and your abilities are planning things, managing things, like maybe throwing a party, you know. And ooh, especially with that moon in Leo, because the Leo energy loves to party, it loves to have fun, it loves to feel, it loves to express itself, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, with that Venus, especially with that Venus in Virgo, like you can be a good party planner, or a good event planner, you feel what I'm saying? Or you're just good at planning things, because you know you're good with details, and when you're doing things, you make sure that you have all the details, all the information, and you're doing it in the most practical way. Because Virgo is all about taking a thought and making it into reality, you feel me? So yeah, with your Mars being in Virgo, you know, you're like, for instance, a good way to explain it is like the nerd, right? The nerd who made sure that they had everything intact, made sure that their grades were good, because they were looking at a long-term plan. They were looking at, okay, I need to get to my classes, I need to do my homework, I need to make sure that I succeed high school, so then I can go into college with good with good high honor rolls or whatever. That's very much Virgo. You know, they very are much grounded in the practicality of life. And so that's your Mars, which is in Virgo, which enables you to do that. And that's a positive. With your Venus being in Virgo, you know, that can be a negative, because Venus deals with relationships, it deals with friendships, it deals also even with how you enjoy yourself, the ways that you extract pleasure from life. And these can be, it can be here where you are more serious, and you may not always play. This is kind of hard for me to speak on, because like that moon in Leo is telling a different story. It's telling that you are a person who's free-spirited. But maybe it can be that when it comes to friends and associates, you're serious and you don't want to waste your time. But when it comes to behind doors and with your children, then you will be having fun. You know, Leo also deals with offsprings and children. And with your moon being in Leo, you may have a good amount of kids. You feel what I'm saying? I hope you have kids, because if you don't have kids, then it's not going to make sense. But yeah, when the moon is in Libra, my bad, when the moon is in Leo, because it's the sign of offsprings, these are individuals whose sex drives are high, and they're typically fucking like bunnies. You know, they love sex, they need sex, but it's like ultimately they just love to show affection to their partner, and they love to be affectionate, you know, to give people attention and to be loving and caring, and you know, things that lead to sex, you know. These are also individuals that can be very entertaining, very fun, you know, very creative, you know, as Leo is a creative sign. But these are individuals that have great authoritative abilities, you know, like in the field that they work in, maybe even, you know. But this is the authority may more so express in a household than the field of work, but it can also express in the field of work, you know. But these are individuals that have innate abilities of like self-significance and self-value. So it's interesting. It's like with the sun in Libra, okay, look, it's like your sun is in Libra, right? And so you may be very self-compromising. You may compromise yourself for the sake of others. But with your sun in Leo, also a lot of the times with your moon in Leo, a lot of the time people with their moon in Leos, they have a very powerful self-image, you know, that when they pay attention to, may even bring fear to them, because they expect to see themselves in a certain way, but that way of which they expect to see themselves, it may be unrealistic. It may not be real in this world that we live in, and it may not be possible for them to go from here to there. You feel me? Like moon in Leo, because it's the king, you know, royalty, it's the sun also. They put themselves on a high pedestal. Their self-image is grandiose. You feel me? And so that's a good thing, but at the same time it can be a negative thing when the self-image starts to become intimidating. But ultimately, I also want to say this: self-image in general, you feel me, becomes of great value and importance with Leo. And you are in the deacon of reformation, and so within the deacon of reformation, there's an indication that in actuality you need to find ways to start to alter and change the way that you see yourself, but also the way that you channel your willpower. You feel what I'm saying? And so I want to say this real quick. Libra deals with balance. It's balance. So in this lifetime, understand that with your sun being Leo, you're going around bringing balance to things. You're helping things balance themselves. You feel what I'm saying? And so ensure that those are things you focus on. Focus on balancing the internal world with the external world. Focus on balancing your relationships and your friendships with others. You feel what I'm saying? That's also going to be of great importance. And learn to be a master of relationships. You feel me? Learn to master relationships and cultivate relationship skills and relationship abilities, as those will definitely benefit you and they will definitely be valuable. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. But yeah, with the moon and Leo, that's pretty much it. The moon, Leo deals with the willpower as well. The moon, it deals with also emotional nourishment. You feel me? So the way that you may find yourself becoming emotionally nourished is through the receiving of attention, the receiving of recognition, being put on a pedestal maybe, or just being showered with love and showered with affection, feeling like you're somebody, by somebody else. You feel what I'm saying? Or even having the ability to express yourself and bring to your creativity other people, and so then the other people can see. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, let me further look into this chart for you. Okay, and then like you have your Saturn in Scorpio. So sex, Moon in Leo, this is like sexual energy. This is more like the fun aspects of sex. But then Saturn in Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign that deals with sex, but it's more the private. So Leo can just deal with like your sex life and your dating life. You feel me? But Leo is like the intimacy of sex. The things that actually happen in sex. You feel me? The deeper aspects and the deeper realities of sex. You feel what I'm saying? And so like with you having Saturn in Scorpio, there is an indication that there are going to be illnesses and sicknesses around like the area of or even restrictions. It may not play out as illnesses and sicknesses at the grander scale. It may just play out as restrictions and limitations concerning sex. You feel me? And this can even be throughout your life you had traumatic experiences with sex. You feel me? Where maybe people selfish people try to take advantage of you, and and it doesn't even have to be sex. It can even be like just people in general be coming up on you and trying to manipulate you and control you, like with the Saturn and Scorpio energy. But with the Saturn and Scorpio energy also, ultimately you are a powerful mystic. You feel what I'm saying? And what it is that you are brought here to learn how to build and construct and bring a foundation and structure to is like your inner, like your emotions, your intense emotions, your passions, your desires. And you're meant to learn how to channel and cultivate emotion, how to channel and cultivate vision even. You feel me? And so Saturn in Scorpio, this energy is like, if you were to dabble into like, learning, like, I want to use the word magic, but understand that magic is nothing more or less but science that has yet to be proven. Obviously, what I'm doing right here would be considered magic to primitive people, or an airplane flying through the sky to a Native American who's never seen that before. That's like magic, that's scary, and it's the unknown is a fearful thing. I just want to throw it out there, because magic is valuable. It's a tool that we can use. It's a tool to empower ourselves, and some people are afraid of it, But like with that Saturn and Scorpio, yeah, I bet you're not even scared, I bet that you've gone through some dark shit and you've seen some dark shit. You feel what I'm saying? That have transformed you, and it's like in this life you are here to transform. You are here to transform your reality. You are here to transform your power and control structures. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, my friend, that pretty much concludes your reading. I hope that I sent enough value, and yeah, I hope that this served you. Let me know what you thought, if this was valuable or not. Alright, peace, my beautiful friend. Namaste.